From the day that we are born, our parents dress us up in outrageous clothing. Sure, they claim it was cute, but we know better. As we grow older, fashion seems to become a main focus of our daily lives. And no matter how much we try to fight against it, we know that our clothes seem to represent who we are and how we see ourselves, and more times than not, how others view us. Clothing holds a strong area in all of our lives. People use bright colors to lift their spirits, and others wear strange and unique outfits to attempt to set themselves apart from the mainstream. There is no denying that we all feel good when we look good, and even the toughest manly man has his favorite pair of pants or his lucky shirt because it makes him feel and look good. Yeah, sure, he may fight you tooth and nail, saying that his clothing means nothing to him, but we know the truth. With all this good feeling about fashion, there has to be a dark side of clothing. What happens when fashion turns against you? Today, we look at two completely different people and how fashion turned against them and forced them into very strange and awkward situations. They are Zombie Popcorn Stories, fashion victims.
Okay. Well, this one time, when I was still living with my parents in Connecticut, I was coming home from a friend's house at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you know that they live in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, in a tiny, tiny village, and so there are critters everywhere outside all the time. And I was walking up the steps, and they had an outdoor cat, and I see him jumping on something in the front yard, and I walk over to him to see what he's looking at, and I was wearing a really long skirt, and I lean over to see what he has, and as I do so, whatever it is that he's poking at jumps onto me in the dark, and I start flailing around trying to get it off, and I can't feel it, I just feel something clinging to my leg, and I think that it drops off, so I run inside, and he runs in after me, and I slam the door, and as soon as I close the door, I feel something clinging to the inside of my skirt, and so I drop my skirt right there in the hallway and start screaming, and my mom comes running in. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. She goes, "What the hell are you doing?" Because I'm sitting there in my underwear right now, running around, trying to find whatever this is. And I go into the next room and I see a flying squirrel run under the couch. And so we spent like the next hour and a half trying to broom this flying squirrel into a box and put it back outside. Yeah, that's my funny story.
I always like to think that, I don't follow trends, or I'm, not a victim of fashion like everybody else, but at least at some point of your life you always are. And this story goes back to the mid-early 90s, when I was a teenager in school and we were all skateboarding, and it's pretty much all we did. So at this time, the switch had been made from like the flat skateboards with tight pants and big wheels to what then was referred to as the new school, which was these really long, skinny boards, big noses, tiny wheels, and we were all wearing like huge pants and giant oversized clothes that we would go to thrift stores and buy. Usually, at this time I was 15, so at least one friend had a car, so we could manage to get up to the thrift store every so often, and then the rest of the time you'd be riding your bike around with your skateboard looking for new places. So the clothes hadn't yet been, the trend hadn't caught on so much that manufacturers were making giant pants. So we would go to these thrift stores and just buy massively oversized clothes. And the way we would test to make sure these pants were big enough was we wanted to make sure we could get our head through the cuff of the pant. So if we could, put the, where your ankle comes out of the pants around our head, it was a decent pair. And that usually ended up being around like size anywhere from 48 to, I think the largest I bought was maybe 56. Which is just ridiculous. We'd have these belts on and these giant freaking pants and like a giant shirt that said, "Hi, my name is Bob," and had like the Ford plant logo on it or something. So one day I'm coming home from my friend's house wearing these size 56 pants, thinking I look all cool. And I'm riding the bike back. I've got the skateboard on the handlebars. But it was a really old bike with no chain guard. So here I am going down Mount Pleasant Road, which is a kind of a major road, lots of traffic, and my pants, my 56 size pants, get caught in the chain of the bike, and it proceeds to tear all the way up my leg till about really just shy of the waist. So I lose my balance, I get off the bike, I remove the pants from the mangled chain, get back on the bike, and now I'm riding, trying to get home fast, and I've got this giant pasty leg that hasn't seen the light of day in years on like my left side, and just this fabric that's flapping behind me like a long flag as I pedal down this bike, no longer looking cool. And so after that I start to get home. I'm approaching my driveway and I see these 3 girls, and they're on bikes, and I don't want them to see my legs, so I gather up all the fabric and kind of hold it together between my legs, hold it onto the bike, rolling, trying to get closer to my driveway. Well, they start to slow down, and I can't pedal, because if I pedal, all the fabric's going to come loose, and, they'll see that I have this giant rip going up my pants, and I'll look like an idiot, even more so than I already did. So I'm getting closer to the house, and the speed on the bike is getting slower and slower, and they aren't passing as fast as I thought they would. They're taking their time. So I don't know if you've ever ridden a bike and not pedaled it, but you get to that certain speed or that certain lack of speed, and you're wobbling and you're wobbling and you're wobbling, and finally I can't balance it any longer, and I fall over right in front of my driveway, and this big gust of wind comes and blows my ripped pant leg all the way up till the pant covers my face, and I hear them laugh and walk by. And so I'm laying there in front of my driveway on my side with my exposed leg and pants blowing up to my face, and I thought, maybe this fashion has gone a bit too far, and maybe I should tone it down and maybe wear some pants that fit a little better. And that's my story about fashion.
Zombie Popcorn Stories is Jason Bayless and Paul Casper. Paul Casper wrote all the music for Zombie Popcorn Stories. If you have a story you would like to share, please visit stories.zombie-popcorn.com for more information, or call 757-337-2195 to record your story. Zombie Popcorn Stories would like to thank everyone who has taken the time to share their lives with us. Thank you.